there is the redesigned Jeep Cherokee or the Jeep Compass.
Mike said, "Hey guys, almost at Vista Point."
With legendary capability and the ultimate in-car experience, who knows where the adventure will take you. Connect with great deals on the official vehicles of summer. Well-qualified returning lessees get a low mileage lease on one of these Jeep vehicles for under $200 a month.
Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. On today's show, is everybody underestimating LeBron and the Lakers? Plus, Rob Parker weighs in on the feud between Terrell Owens and Michael Irvin. And why did Jalen Ramsey throw a whole bunch of shade at opposing quarterbacks? Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. I'm on the Fox Sports app. It all leads up to the Big Three championship game from Brooklyn, August 24th on Fox. Skip, checking it out?
Yes, I am. Final Four, Dallas, Friday night. Corey Maggette, Baron Davis, Nate Robinson, Big Baby, star-studded. We have the star of stars, Cube, on yesterday with us. I'll be watching.
I'm anxious to see Power. They're the number one seed. Corey Maggette, as you mentioned, Catino Mobley, Big Baby, and Birdman. They're playing the four seed. The only team to beat them is Tri-State, which they're playing in the first round. That's going to be very, very interesting. Skip, I'm watching Big Baby. Big Baby should drop 30 pounds and try to get back in the NBA. Skip, you see how well he can move?
Or just try to get back in the NBA?
No. Or he can come train with me. I can get him a left tackle job.
Really?
Yes. Can he kick? If he can kick, Skip. With Jason Peters, he's nimble on his feet.
You're training everyone now.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, the Lakers had a major offseason shakeup, and hey, they added several players, including some guy named LeBron. Westgate projected them to have the fourth best record in the West, but that's not enough for Kyle Kuzma. Kuzma said he has already worked out with LeBron, and both players are excited about the roster, and they both think, quote, people are underestimating us. Shannon, what do you make of this?
Do so at your own peril. Yeah, they underestimated. Mainly Skip Bayless, because you keep talking about, they'll be like a 7, 8 seed. And these projections.
Am I the only one who says
No.
Like everybody's saying.
And he's saying everybody going to be sadly mistaken.
Right.
And these projections about the Lakers missing the playoffs, this is asinine, Skip. That's beyond ridiculous.
Oh, okay. So, as much as, go ahead, I thought you were finished.
You want to go, Skip? You go ahead.
We got time.
Go ahead. I'll let you go.
So, as much as I like Kyle Kuzma as a young man, he's fun to be around. We've had him right here on the show. I was shocked to read these comments because he's starting to turn into, dare I say, Isaiah Thomas. He's sort of aligning himself with LeBron, like we're going to do this together. We've been working out together.
Yeah, working out.
Kyle had a really good rookie year, came out of nowhere, late first-round pick, obviously, and he went 16-6 for a very young, unstar-studded Laker team, right?
Yeah.
They won 35 games with 35-47, but he was first-team all-rookie, and all of a sudden, he's talking about wrecking the league, as Johnny Manziel once predicted he would do. That's how it's coming across to me. And how much did it offend you that Isaiah Thomas walked in the door, Cleveland, Ohio, and started talking like, I'm LeBron's co-star, like I'm his equal. Well, this started to come across like, Bron and I got this. You know, me and Bron, we're going to shock everybody. Yes,
Isaiah rubbed me the wrong way. He came in at 5'6" and a quarter. It would hurt. And pretended like he was on the same platform as LeBron James. No. You were not going to come in and get no 23 shots a night. You were not going to average 30 points a game. First of all, you should have got healthy first and then talk later. Second of all, Skip Bayless, Kyle Kuzma says, look, we get it. We're a young basketball team, especially if everything goes according to plan. We think who's going to start, with the exception of LeBron. But when you bring LeBron in, Skip Bayless, it's just like anything. When you bring the best surgeon in, look, no matter the type of surgery, when you bring the best surgeon in that field in, you expect to get the job done. No mess. Everything. You got the patient up on his way in a matter of hours.
So Kuz and Bron, they got this.
No, ain't no Kuz and Bron.
That's how it comes across. They got this.
They're underestimating us.
And yet, I think you might be overestimating how much Kyle Kuzma is going to get to play, because right now on the depth chart he's listed as a backup at forward to that guy. What's that guy's name? LeBron. What's the name?
LeBron.
Akron. That guy. He's one forward, and Brandon Ingram's really good. He's the other starting forward. So all of a sudden, Kyle Kuzma's going to be fighting for minutes with Lance Stevenson and Michael Beasley. And all of a sudden, I don't know. How many minutes is he going to get to play? I don't know.
He will determine that.
Okay.
Is the bird in the hand? Is the bird dead or alive, Skip?
So maybe Kuz and Braun don't got this.
No.
Maybe Braun's got this.
No. He's saying that, look, as a team, yes, we have LeBron, but we're going to carry our weight. We're going to pull our load, Skip Bayless. Absolutely. Oh, you don't believe they will. But they will be 19 games better than what they were last year.
I already told you they're going to be the 8th seed. And history's going to repeat because they're going to get swept by, LeBron's going to get swept by Golden State for the second straight year, last year in the finals, this year in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs, because he's going to be made to feel like a guest in the West.
How about this year?
And how about this here? How about so many experts who know way more NBA basketball than I know are saying, hold the phone here because it doesn't look to them on all their statistical projections like LeBron's team can even make the playoffs. How about the great Kevin Pelton, one of the best at second level stats and projections at ESPN? He's got him 41.2 wins. That would be 9th in his projection in the West. That would be one slot out of the playoffs.
It's just a projection, Skip.
Yeah, and his point is that no team has been hit harder by adjustment for players changing teams because you've got all these newcomers. Also, there's a flood of newcomers. You got 4 really difficult to coach personalities being added to a young mix. So you say they're a young team. They're really a young old team, which is kind of bizarre, right?
First of all, Skip, you know I was in 4-H. I was projected to be a farmer. How'd that work out? Yeah. I know a little farm stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah. I know all about livestock, cattle, hogs, chickens, all that. But I turned out to be a what? An NFL footballer. Okay. So, with that being said, Kevin Pelton, I get it. Hey, he's next level, second level, third level, fifth level. Ain't got no levels. I'm just telling you, the Los Angeles Lakers will be 3rd or the 4th seed, and they're going to advance past the first round. Now,
55 wins, says
54.
Shannon Sharp.
I got 54 in the 5, and we got 5 cases over there.
Okay, 5 cases. I got it. You want to make it 7?
Nope. I'm good. I don't want you to,
So, here's the final piece to this puzzle.
What?
We'll have something else in here.
Kyle Kuzma did not make an early reputation for having much interest in playing on the defensive end of the court. So he's defensively challenged, and his new co-star, LeBron James, finished 308th in individual defensive win shares last year, so he was not interested anymore.
What about offensive win shares?
Well, I'm talking about the defensive end, because it can be half the battle, if not more than half the battle, when the playoffs start. So now you've got 2 co-stars, Kuz and Braun.
It ain't no co-star. Stop saying that.
Kuz and Braun. and they play little to no defense between them. So if they're 2/5 of the starting lineup, how do you defend that?
You already said Kuzma coming up through.
Kuz thinks he's going to be a starter.
But what do you think?
I don't know what's going to happen. I think Luke Walton's going to get fired at mid-season.
How about this? I think something good going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I think something better than last year will happen.
Well, that goes without saying. LeBron James walks into the door, you're already 15, 20 games better than what you
I think you'll make the playoffs. You'll be the 8th seed.
I love how last year, you like head over heels. Oh, Lonzo gonna take this team to the playoffs.
I said to the 8th seed, and they had.
Well, Lonzo Ball take him to the 8th seed. LeBron James take him to the 8th seed.
Well,
let's get back you on something.
Okay.
Using that car with Antonio Callaway.
That's what I was wondering. What was happening to Luke Walton last year, because LeVar called him out. LeVar, you can dismiss a lot of what he says, but a lot of it is just cold, hard, stone cold truth. And he said early on, I don't know what Luke Walton has against my son, but he's yanking him every mid-first quarter and not putting him back in the game until mid-second quarter.
He's the coach. He
that
knows what's
became
there.
an early pattern. And once that happened, I was out. I think that Lonzo basically quit on Luke Walton last year. Now, is that going to keep going?
He ain't going to quit on Bron.
All right, we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
He like L.A.?
Who?
Lonzo.
Does he like L.A.?
Yeah.
Well, he grew up in
okay, then.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I mean, he won't be quitting again. Because if he like going home on a nightly basis, I suggest he never quit again.
Okay. Because you suggest he'll be in Milwaukee if he doesn't want you?
Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn. That's a good place for him.
Okay.
I'd kind of like to see him go somewhere else and get a fresh start out from under.
Already?
Yeah, I would. I don't love it here for him. I think it was wrong place, wrong time for Lonzo Ball. I did. I didn't like it. Dad's here. Brothers are here. Mom's here, family, extended family's here. It's just not good for him. He needed to go somewhere and start fresh by himself, make his own name.
No, that's not how they build. Families together, they stay together, they do everything together. So, yeah.
Maybe two together at times.
But O'Brien got it.
Yeah.
Bron worked 19 games.
Bron, Rondo.
Yeah. Lance, JaVale, Brandon Ingram.
Yeah. Don't know how it's going to work.
KCP.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hart.
This could be the worst defensive team in all of
Oh,
Alabama.
well, yeah.
Could
Could
be
be
get that part of it, though.
Could be one of the best offensive teams in all of
It
that.
could be.
Okay.
See if they can win. Boy, also,
What you mean see if they can win?
Phoenix looks a lot better. Dallas is going to be a lot better.
Yeah,
I don't know. The Clippers are still going to
let me.
be back.
So let me. I just want to make sure.
The Clippers.
Yeah. Let me make sure I'm hearing this correctly. You believe that Phoenix, DeAndre Ayton, will help Phoenix more than LeBron will help the Lakers?
For a reason. Devin Booker getting older and wiser. Ooh, they're going to light up some people. They're going to take their pound of flesh. They'll beat the Lakers a couple times.
And be in the lottery. Again.
They be because they're in the West, and they can't help that.
And who in the West?
LeBron is in the West.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he went to the West to mess with the West.
Yeah.
Because he got tired of hearing your mouth and others like you talk about, oh, he's in the East.
He went to the West so he could now chase Michael B. Jordan. That's what he did.
Whatever.
Terrell Owens' absence from Canton for the Hall of Fame induction ceremony was criticized by a lot of people, including many of his fellow Hall of Famers. Michael Irvin went on the Rich Eisen show a day before the ceremony and said some of the Hall of Famers took T.O. not being there personally. Irvin also said T.O. owes it to the people to be there, but the Hall of Famers would hug him if he ever shows up to Canton. T.O. responded yesterday, tweeting, quote, Rich, he sounds ridiculous, and I don't owe anybody anything. Must be the side/after effects of drug use. I'm going to leave it at that. Definitely won't be any hugging going on. Hashtag Go Mocs, which is T.O.'s alma mater. We're joined by Rob Parker, and Rob, I'm going to start with you. Was this tweet from T.O. inbounds or out of bounds?
It's inbounds from this standpoint. This is who T.O. is. And when you rub him the wrong way, he's going to come back at you. This is just how he's wired. And I don't think what Michael Irvin said was the worst thing in the world. I don't. No. I really don't. But I think T.O. felt like his character was being assassinated. It's one thing when you tell somebody you want to debate them whether they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, what on their play, then you could accept that, okay? But once people opened up so many things about him, I think his natural reaction is, I'm going to fight back for who I am, my name. These people don't really know who I am. And I think that's always been the issue with T.O., what people thought from the outside and what he has on the inside. I don't know him that well. I never got to cover him. I told you, came to my class to speak for an hour to the kids, and I thought he was very honest and open. And I got a glimpse of what I feel was the real guy.
Right.
Which is a very sensitive guy when it comes to people talking about him.
Right.
And the Michael Irvin stuff, I know people say, why do you got to go there or whatever. It's public knowledge. He went through some issues. He cleaned his life up. But it's out there. Just like some of the other players that have gotten in the Hall of Fame, Lawrence Taylor and whatnot. And people didn't seem to bother them when it came from Lawrence Taylor and other players who had off-the-field issues to get in. It didn't seem to bother the writers at all. I don't remember anybody saying, well, how can you do this if Lawrence Taylor was doing that?
There was a certain quarterback from Green Bay that got in, but we're not going to make
it. Right. But you know what I'm saying? Those things didn't seem to bother people, but for whatever reason, him being a quote-unquote diva and wanting the football, and I'm not going to say that he didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that he would say, you wouldn't say about a teammate in public. It might be the real and right answer.
Right.
Who would you rather have, Brett Favre or Donovan McNabb? But I don't think you should say that.
Especially when you're playing with a guy.
When you're playing with a guy. So did he make mistakes along the way? Yes, he did. Were they that terrible that people should keep out a guy who put together unbelievable numbers and played in the Super Bowl injured and had a tremendous game? The guy, I never doubted, A, whether he worked hard, B, whether he wanted to win or not, and C, that when he was out on the field, he gave his all. And I think that's what hurts him the most.
You want to go?
No, go ahead.
For me, I thought it was out of bounds, Robin, as I explained to Skip earlier, is that when you go to the Hall of Fame luncheon, the Ray Nitschke luncheon on Friday, Deacon Jones, or the great Deacon Jones, rest his soul, he would always stand up and he would tell us what he expected and what the hall expected. And he says, now that you're in here with these rooms, in this room, he says, nobody is better than anyone else. He says, everybody that's in this room could catch everybody else in this room and could tackle everybody else in this room. So we don't take shots at each other. We're on the same team. I thought it was out of bounds for the simple fact it's a teammate. We don't take shots at teammates. We don't take shots at family. We keep this in-house. Whatever T.O.'s feeling towards Michael, you can take it to Michael. Michael, you've already voiced it. Hey, T.O. felt that he was having textual conversations with Michael Irvin. Michael was on the NFL Network. Michael showed those conversations to TV watching land. And T.O. felt that Michael broke his trust. T.O. is very hard. How would you feel if you were I'd have been very upset.
Although, quick point of order, I'm pretty sure the text he showed on TV was Terrell just stating his position exactly word for word as to why he didn't go to.
I think it's more had to do with trust. Had he got T.O.'s approval, T.O., you mind if I share this with the audience?
But it wasn't a negative text.
No.
Or
right. But if I text you, Skip, or you text me, I don't think you'd be happy if I put it on social media.
I think you would be the one who would not be happy.
and that's but Skip, the thing is with T.O.
I remember that, Skip. I remember that.
Be careful.
And I won't. And I don't.
T.O. takes everything personal. We know that. And that's what happened. He took what Michael said, even though this wasn't a harsher critique, this wasn't the harshest criticism.
No.
He took it personal because Michael had betrayed his trust. And so moving forward, anything that comes out of Michael's mouth and it references T.O., he's going to look at it as a negative.
It triggered him. Just triggered back.
So I'm going to remind everyone that the voting bylaws of the Pro Football Hall of Fame state that off-the-field behavior or misbehavior will not be factored into whether you're voted into the Hall or not.
Correct.
Right? To your original point about Lawrence Taylor, Brett Favre, whoever we're talking about. It took Michael Irvin 3 times to get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Why was that, Mr. Sharp?
Oh, I believe it's
Strictly off the field. I covered Michael Irvin, Dallas teams that should have won 4 straight Super Bowls if the coach had stayed. Maybe 5 or 6 for all I know. They were that good, that loaded. And I covered Terrell Owens in San Francisco, and I know a lot of players who played with him and talked to many of them in Philadelphia and Dallas. And the irony of this conversation is Michael Irvin was the complete flip side of Terrell Owens. Michael Irvin, to me, was one of the great leaders in the history of sports. I'm not saying he's quite Shannon or Ray Lewis, but he was up there because that was a dynasty that he drove. He was the leader of those Dallas Cowboys. It wasn't Troy Aikman. It wasn't
big name, big personality.
It wasn't Charles Haley. It wasn't Darren Woodson. It wasn't Deion Sanders. It was Michael Irvin. He set the tone for that team on the practice field, in the weight room, on the sideline, in the huddle, and certainly on 3rd and 9 in Philadelphia or the Giants or at Washington. He was the one who ignited them. He was the rocket fuel of that whole football team because he played hard and then he partied hard. And I do not defend the partying because he had all kinds of issues off the field. So what Terrell tweets about is fact.
Those are all
undeniable. And it went beyond drug use. It went to womanizing and nightlifing and partying and all of the above. And it's why he got held out of the Pro Football Hall of Fame 3 times. Did Michael have a chip on his shoulder about it? When it was time to go in, did he accept it and embrace it? He loves the Hall of Fame as much as anybody.
Absolutely,
right?
yes.
He's become like the ultimate ambassador for the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
He is the life of that party when you go up there every early August.
But probably because he probably thought he wasn't going to get in. You remember he cried like a baby when he got in.
A lot of guys cry like
No, but I think that there was, after the 3 years, that he questioned whether or not he was going to make it. So when he made it, he fully embraced it.
Yeah.
I think
you brought up LT. To me, Michael Irvin was the Lawrence Taylor of wide receivers or of his generation because, all that drug use, all that off the field, it did not affect for 1 second his ability to perform and lead on the field because Lawrence Taylor was the unquestioned leader.
I covered that Giants team.
Was he not the guy?
No doubt about it. He was a game changer. He was a transcendent player.
Yeah,
he
Who gave the speech to the sideline huddle before they went out on the field? We're going to go after him. What was he?
A
Yelled
bunch of
like a
crazy
wild pack of
a bunch of
dogs.
crazy dogs.
Right.
Okay? Lawrence Taylor. And again, well, you can't defend his issues off the field because they're there. But did they factor in on the field? They did not.
Yeah, but when you come to guys like LT, what he did on the field is so Skip, people don't know this, but he was defensive rookie of the year and defensive player of the year the same year.
This is
So just imagine the guy, Raekwon Smith coming into the NFL, the linebacker for the Bears, Raekwon Smith, and he went defensive player of the year and defensive rookie of the year. That's unheard of.
I watched him up close.
He was the MVP.
He was unbelievable.
He was the most dominant defender we've ever seen.
Ever. He made
There's no doubt about
He made the left tackle famous, and he made the edge rusher famous. All these Von Millers and Khalil Mack, Derek Thomas is because of LT, and all these Jason Peterson, Tyron Smith is because of LT.
I agree. I get all that, but I just think there's guys who are wired differently.
Yeah.
I just think T.O. is wired differently.
He is.
And that's why I think people
say
can't
this.
always connect with
Say it every time. The talent was undeniable. The production was undeniable. It's off the chart.
Yes.
It's right up there with Randy Moss. But he was the opposite of a leader. He was a solo act. He was more of a self-promoter. He was not addicted to drugs or alcohol off the field because he doesn't do any of that. He had no issues off the field at all. But he was addicted to the spotlight to a fault. And the Terrell that I knew in San Francisco was as divisive a player as I ever covered in any sport because half the locker room would love him and half would despise him and come to me as a columnist in the Bay Area and say, how can you defend him? Because for a while I did. I was his lone defender for about almost a year and a half, for sure. And then so many players came up and said, what are you doing? I don't know. Maybe I should think this again.
But sometimes I just wish I had been in San Francisco because I think I would have handled T.O. differently than probably Jerry handled T.O.
Okay.
I think that has a lot to do with it. I think mentorship to Jerry Rice.
Right. So,
yes.
Yeah.
I would have definitely handled that situation a lot different than Jerry Rice would have.
Yeah.
Because I just believe that with T.O., T.O., once he got to where he got and he was established, it's hard to turn him around then. You got to get to him early, and you got to talk to him. And when you see things starting to get, instead of just letting it go, that's not my problem, that's somebody else's. You take it upon yourself to go talk to the young man.
Skip, what was Reggie Jackson? I'm trying to. He was another guy who was about himself, but a great player.
When it was
And players didn't like him.
No,
I know, but fought with Thurman Munson, had a fight with I'm just saying, a lot of people
everybody's not going to be Peyton Manning. Everybody's not going to be well liked in the locker room, and that's okay. You do you. I mean, we don't have to be friends, but let's be friendly. You ain't got to come over to my house because I damn sure ain't coming over to yours.
We don't need to eat together.
Right.
We don't need
but
to
we here. Let's cohabitate. Let's get along for the betterment of the team. Let's win games. Hey, you go your way, I go mine. Boom, we good.
Okay. So the ultimate irony to this discussion is that the guy I used to call Team Obliterator even rejected the greatest team ever assembled, his team, the Hall of Fame team. He said, no, I don't want to be part of that. But and guess what happened at the Ray Nitschke luncheon, players only? The room is split like a locker room. Half of them are pro T.O. and half are saying, what are we doing here? You know
But why shouldn't he have the right to handle it the way he wants?
He does.
And it's nothing wrong with it. All right. I got inducted for my play, right? My bust will be in Canton and all that. I didn't throw a torch to the place, right? I didn't do any of that. I just think that he felt like he couldn't do it for whatever reason. That was his decision. I don't know what. You're mad at him that he didn't go? You're not mad at him, are you? No. How could you be mad? It was his decision. That's his decision. That's his day.
I'm going to go talk trash.
And the free drinks?
No.
It's just hard to understand because it's so sacred to so many people why you choose to not be a part of this team. This the most elite team in the world.
It's like you get the full of surprise and say, nah, I should have got one from this other article I did.
Or like me not showing up to NABJ.
Yeah. I should have been won this award. Hey, y'all give it to me, but I'm gonna have myself.
Why did you keep him out so long?
I don't know. That's a good question. Skip 32 years. They kept me out a long time.
I think you should take a stand against the organization.
Too late.
Thank you for being here, Rob. Okay, Jalen Ramsey went off and ripped pretty much every quarterback in the NFL. I'm not making this up. You need to.
It's a brand given life by craftsmen with seductive Italian styling. The Alfa Romeo Giulia, Stelvio, and 4C.
To hear what he's saying. That's next. So get this, Jalen Ramsey did not hold back when he was asked by GQ for his opinion of quarterbacks around the NFL. Ramsey said Bills rookie Josh Allen is trash, Big Ben is decent at best, Matt Ryan is overrated, and Joe Flacco sucks. Ramsey was asked which QBs don't suck, and he said Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. And then he added Deshaun Watson and Carson Wentz will be MVP candidates for the next decade, and Dak Prescott, he's, quote, all right. Like, he just continued all of that. He just, every single quarterback. Shannon, what is your reaction other than what I just saw there?
Damn, Jalen, they about to suspend you for another week.
They might want to. I don't think they will, but they might think about it.
Man, hey, it seems to me that the interviewer, like, once he asked him a question about the quarterbacks and he got very candid, he just started throwing out names. What about Tannehill? What about Lamar Jackson? What about this guy? What about that guy? And he's like, oh, he sucks. He trash. He garbage.
Yeah.
But this is him, Skip. This isn't a show. This isn't an act. This is who this young man is. And let me see what he say. He say, Deshaun Watson will be the MVP in a couple of years, 100%. There's not even a debate about that. Him and Carson Wentz, for every year starting now to 5-10 years, it's going to be them two. They're that good. Dak Prescott, he all right. He okay.
Wait, you skipped over a line. What was the first line? He's good, he said. He's good.
He all right. He all right. He okay. That is what he said about the other two. Yeah, I mean, what a problem. We see, this is the problem that I have. We want our athletes to be open and honest until they're open and honest. And then they talk too much.
But that's disrespect. I mean, he is saying someone sucks and is trash is not being honest. That's
what is
disrespectful.
Is it true?
I don't think it's true. I don't know.
That's the thing.
It's a lot to say.
You want him to be open and honest, so you got. Hey, now I know somebody that got elected president of the United States using this very rhetoric. Oh, Jalen Ramsey, you on your way, boy. You on your way.
Wow. Jalen Ramsey, same sense with the president.
Yeah, he on his way.
Wow. So, to your takeaway point, your big point, Jalen Ramsey needs to do this. He needs to heap pressure on himself because he's one of those cornerbacks. He wants the more pressure, the merrier, because he wants to have to live up to the checks that he writes that he has to then cash on Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. And yet, there was some between the lines going on here. So let's start with the big rips. Okay, I don't know how you could dismiss Josh Allen as trash when clearly he has not watched Josh Allen. Because I'm pretty sure he didn't watch these games because, first of all, he refers to the game Iowa State, and it was at Iowa. There's a big difference between Iowa State and Iowa. They're two very different places to play. So at Iowa, he was pretty miserable, and I watched that game. And then I watched Oregon at Wyoming. He had a QBR of 7 in that game. He had a QBR of 30 against Iowa. And they were pretty miserable. Now, I don't know enough about Wyoming to tell you how good or bad Wyoming is. I don't think they're very good. So I don't think there's a lot of talent around him. But he didn't look like trash. He just looked overmatched. Right. And there's a big difference between trash and overmatched. Okay. Because if you're overmatched, man, and you're playing that position, it's hard. Yeah. You're going to look pretty awful.
You will look, especially if you go against a superior school.
Yeah. At Boise State, he looked a little better, but the Boise State was obviously better than they were. He had a QBR of 63, which wasn't bad, but he threw a couple of more picks. Mm-hmm. So I don't know about hella interceptions, hella turnovers. I'm not sure Jalen knew exactly what he was saying on that one. So that's a reach to me. That's just overstatement for overstatement's sake. That's like Jalen Ramsey is just doing a big magazine interview and he's just going to let it fly.
What about Joe Flacco?
Okay. Flacco sucks. I've never used the word sucks, but he just flat out, what do I call him? I'm calling Fluco for what, 6 years now? And when he got that contract after that Super Bowl and how he did that, I don't know. Because, listen, he's been as good in the playoffs as you can find.
Than any quarterback. Yeah.
But during the regular season, he is fluko. So can we go with sucks? I'll give you sucks. Now, Big Ben, this is a shot now. Big Ben, he says, decent at best, that he just slings it up for different people, that Antonio has made Big Ben. Well, Antonio hasn't been there all through Big Ben's career, and there are other receivers there, and he was pretty good.
He got 2 Super Bowls without Antonio Brown.
He did. He got 2. So I think that's overstated and outrageously over the top. And Matt Ryan overrated. I've said that on this show many times. Does that mean he's a bad quarterback? It does not. But is he overrated? Because he calls him last year, how do you go to complete bust from MVP? Well, I don't think Matt Ryan was a complete bust last year. They made the playoffs.
But there's no question he loves Aaron Rodgers. He loves Tom Brady.
Okay.
He thinks Mariota.
Okay. You know what? That's where I say there's method to that madness, because does he not have to play against him twice a year? So he says he's a great quarterback for their team. I don't think he is.
For their team.
Yeah.
No, I don't
mean he fits the system.
They're going to run the ball with Derrick Henry, Deion Lewis, right?
He's going to run the ball, and he's going to get beat up, and he's not accurate. Right. And I think Jalen Ramsey really enjoys playing against Marcus Mariota, because I think he views it as kind of a Sunday off. Because I don't think he's threatened deep by Marcus Mariota, and they have a wide out. So then we get to Deshaun. I get that. But Carson Wentz.
No.
He put Carson Wentz in the Hall of Fame. Has he played against Carson Wentz?
He hasn't played against Dak either.
So he has not played against Carson Wentz, but he put him in the Hall of Fame, and he hasn't played against Dak, and he said he's right? Yeah.
Capital A-I-G.
Well, that's not how this is spelled. There's an L in there.
He's
all right.
No, you in the barbershop when you get this.
I don't know.
AI.
But he did say Dak's good. He's all right. He's okay. So, how does he know that? Has he studied tape of Carson Wentz and Dak?
I'm sure he has.
I think not.
Skip, here's the thing, though, but you have to look at it. Like, when he's breaking down tape of other guys, he's looking at that offense.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
If it crosses over.
Yeah.
It doesn't always cross over. Yeah. But, when he's talking with some insight about a quarterback, it's because he's played against that quarterback, because he knows Big Ben. He's played him.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. I find amusing. Had he said that Dak Prescott gonna be great, he's gonna be MVP, I think you might be singing a different tune.
Well, I just put Jalen in the Hall of Fame. That's all I would do.
Why would you do that, Skip?
I would not. I would not, because I would say ask the same question, and he
I don't know.
By watching highlights.
I mean, Skip, all Jalen Ramsey did is what we do on a normal basis. We just get paid for it. Jalen Ramsey don't get paid to do this. He get paid to intercept, pass, and tackle people. But that's what we do.
Well, maybe he thinks he'll get paid off the field because this will hype his brand.
What do? We offer harsh and critical critiques of people's play.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Sometimes right and sometimes wrong.
But they already know I'm going to get to one. Hey, no additive. This ain't no additive, no preservative here. I give you straight Everclear.
You do.
180 proof golden grain. Headshot, Jen. Headshot.
But when you were playing, would you have been this harsh?
Off the record, on the record.
That's the difference. Yeah.
I mean, I have taken occasional, sometimes, people, they provoke me. I never said anything with you I wasn't provoked. If you provoke me, I might laugh.
Defensive back for the Atlanta Falcons. Do you remember that?
Provoke me.
Yeah.
And, there have been other times that people provoke me. Skip, I'm really a nice guy. I don't really like to get outside of my character. I'm really nice. I really am. People just have me so confused.
Well, Jen will attest to that.
I just don't want to get you on my bad side. I feel like this is working out. Okay.
I'm really a nice guy. People just have me all wrong, Skip. I'm really not like that. Totally not. I'm really a good guy. Everyone will vouch for me.
Yeah?
Yeah, they'll vouch
except for me.
Is that your nice guy voice?
Yep. That's his nice white guy voice.
Yeah, that's my Walter King line.
Yeah, very.
Oh, Jen, how are you?
We're back to that.
Jen loves that voice. That's the
You're making
that's
stuff
the
up,
voice she
Jen.
hears off the field.
Oh my God. You've taken it too far. Skip Bayless.
Oh, thank you, Jen.
Just a little too far.
Thank you, Jen.
Eagles offensive lineman Lane Johnson called out the Patriots big time after Philly's Super Bowl win, saying they're a, quote, fear-based organization with players who act like bleeping robots. Tomorrow night, the Eagles are on the road in New England for a preseason game, and Not only is Johnson not taking back his statements, he's looking forward to the disdain from the Patriots fans. Take a listen.
Are you expecting any type of backlash, for lack of better words, for the comments that you've made?
Oh, yeah. I hope so. I hope they raise hell. If they cuss me, they can just say whatever they want. At the end of the day, I'm not blocking them. I'm blocking the guys on the edge. So it really doesn't matter what they say. I know that I'm not going to be well-liked, and this team ain't going to be well-liked going in there, so it's going to make us so they bring out our best.
Sandy hopes so. Okay, Shannon, do you agree with Lane's criticism of New England?
My favorite.
Oh.
Next to my walking toward my favorite. He's my second favorite.
You mean limping to it?
No, don't do that, Skip. Don't do that. Yes, I agree with it. And Lane, not only he said it earlier, he doubled down on it. Skip, there are a lot of players around the NFL that feel this very way, but there are very few of them willing to go on record and say this. You ask 25 Patriots the very same question, you get the same 25 but the very same answer, just in a different tone. All you're going to do is just get it in Brady's voice or Gronk's voice or Slater's voice or McCoy. That's what they do. This is who they are, the Patriot way. But the Patriot way is not the Eagles way or the Steelers way. It's hard to argue when you have the kind of success. Okay, this is the way we're going to do it. Coach Belichick is right. This is what you're going to get. There's black and white. There ain't no gray. You know exactly where you stand with Coach Belichick. He's going to coach everybody the exact same way. Okay, that works for him. But that's not necessarily how it's going to work, say, in Dallas or Philly or Pittsburgh or anywhere else, Skip. I think the thing that Mike Shanahan, my former coach, what he had to come to the realization is that he came from San Francisco, and you know how they do business in San Francisco. Coach Walsh had a certain, and this is the way they did it. Well, he comes back to Denver, and then here I am. I'm a talkative guy. I'm having fun, joking around, and he tried to suppress that. And I said, Mike, you got to let me be me. I'm going to show up for you on Sunday. I'm going to practice my tail off. I'm going to be where I'm supposed to be. But you're trying to tell me to be quiet or not. I said, that's not me. I said, do you want me, all of me, or do you want part of me? Once he realizes, you know what, let me see. Everything was fine. I kept the locker room loose, but when it came time to work, 84, get them going. So, with that being said, Lane Johnson said, man, look, I mean, they don't say nothing. They looked down on us. They was talking bleak to us. And then we had to go ahead and put that work on them. But Skip, you know they're methodical. You know they're robotic. This is Gattaca. Same thing, just carbon copy. You remember that Ethan Hawke had that?
I know it very well. I'm not sure many know. That's okay.
Yeah, because you and I, we see every movie that comes out. But that's the thing, though. And not to say that there's something wrong with it, but he's not lying in his assessment. That works for New England. Skip, Chad Johnson didn't forget how to play football. He just got there and he wasn't able to be himself. He couldn't come up with no gags. He couldn't do no funky dances and have the fun that he wanted to have. And so all of a sudden he gets there like, what happened? How did he just drop off a cliff? Well, that place in New England is not for everyone. Everybody's like, oh yeah, go win. Okay, you want to win, but you will need to win your way. And Coach Belichick said you're going to win my way. So it's not for everybody. So I have no problem with what Lane Johnson said. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to watch the game tomorrow night because I'm going to watch you put them mitts on somebody. He's talking like that because guess what, Skip? They ain't got an edge rusher that can see it. Now, see, if that was had to do it against Von Miller or J.J. Watt, maybe he'd be a little bit more reserved. But since he played those guys, they say y'all can't see me.
They don't have an edge rusher. They don't have anybody.
No, they don't. Maybe if they had Chandler Jones, maybe he wouldn't say that, but hey.
It is easy to talk when you hung 41 on them.
Right? Now he's about to go and hang like 35 on them in their building.
So, it strikes me as amusing that Lane Johnson from a small noise in Texas.
No, he went to
Oklahoma.
So show him respect.
Dyed-in-the-wool OU fan, but I'm not a fan of this guy.
What?
Small town Texas, 100 some miles from Houston. And has he not put himself on the national map with this Patriots are robots stance?
Yeah.
He should take this act on the road. He should take it to Vegas and do Patriots are robots. And it'd probably sell out, right? He's funny. He can really go. He can talk. I think he's talking a lot of noise and a lot of nonsense and a lot of baloney that he doesn't really believe. And it's easy to talk when you did hang 41, but he started off with, this is right after the Super Bowl, he said, I'd much rather have fun and win a Super Bowl than be miserable and win 5 Super Bowls. I don't know about that, Lane. I'm just not sure about that. So, look, to be fair to him, if he's speaking from a position of spite or wounded pride, I'll give him that because he continues to say that Kraft was trash talking Lurie. I don't know what it was. I don't know any details.
I think it was Coach Belichick.
Okay. Belichick said something that came off as arrogant.
Yes. Oh, you had a good season.
Yeah.
You had a good season.
You had. Maybe it was the past.
Yeah.
I don't know. But he will not let go of that, even though we don't know any more details about that. There's no other reporting on that. But just for the record, I worked around several expatriates at ESPN. Teddy Bruschi, did he have fun playing for the Patriots? He had a blast, man. It was like a religious experience for him because he had to beat you a little more with his head and his heart than his natural, innate, God-given talent, right? And he just thrived in that Belichick defensive system.
Correct.
And he loved it, and he misses it to this day. And then you look at Matt Light, really a good football player, left tackle.
Yes.
Fun-loving, easygoing, happy-go-lucky. He had a good time playing for the Patriots.
Right.
He has a good time everywhere he goes. So robotic, I think not. Damian Woody, just about as easygoing as you'll ever find. Robotic, not to me. His own man, his own thinker? Yeah. Now, I get it. There are rules with the media where you stay between the lines.
Right.
You say only this. Rob Gronkowski says only this, but off the field, does he have a good time?
Oh, yeah.
He's party-hardy, man. Right?
Right. But I think the thing is, Skip, look, everybody can't be the 2000 Ravens. We went to the Super Bowl and we didn't have curfew. We didn't have bed check. Everybody can't do that, Skip. But to each his own. I'm not knocking this, and I guess Lane is looking at it like, man, I'm trying to carry on a conversation, and he's looking at it from a distance. And to him, when he hears interviews, and this guy said the same thing that guy said, and that guy said the same thing this guy said, he's like, that ain't no fun. But where's your individuality? Where's your own personality? I don't see any of that. All I see is golly shucks, RG, whiz, Tom in front of the camera. But he mofoed it up off the camera when he's doing Tom versus Time.
Is he having fun off?
Well, I need some of that. I need some of that.
Does he post some silly stuff on social media? He does.
I guess the thing is, Lane says he wants to see more of a personality. It's really hard to say, Skip, because when you talk about Teddy and you talk about Woody and you talk about Matt Light, is that they got drafted there, so that's kind of like all they know. It's probably a lot harder for someone to go somewhere else and then go and ingratiate themselves in that situation because you get, coached a certain way and then you go there. It's totally opposite. What helped me was I came in under Dan Reeves. He was he learned under Tom Landry.
I know Dan very well. I watched it up close. Yep. So Dan's about as old school as you can get. And I would say that wouldn't be real fun to play for him.
It was
not real fun.
It was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard. But when Wade came in, we lost the first round and lost the wild card round in '93. Wade didn't think we were tough enough.
Wade Phillips.
So we had 8 straight days, 2-a-days, padded practices, 16 total practices. But for me, Skip, I had with Dan. So we practiced in pads every single day.
Yep.
So it was nothing to me. But for someone that came from another place, they're like, what the hell going on? Bruh, you better get in the cold tub and get ready to go again tomorrow. That's what's going on.
I want to know how much fun most teams in the NFL have in the end. How much fun is it to play in the NFL? It's hard, man.
Yeah, it is.
I'm watching Hard Knocks with the Cleveland Browns. Those camp practices, that's hard, man.
It all depends. If you got your old Shay Sharp, he'll make that thing fun. He's going to make it real fun.
I'll bet there's some camp practices where you were no fun.
Yeah, I mean, I got to get a couple of jokes in and man, Sharp, you crazy. Man. Skip, I got to keep it light. Man, you out there 2 hours, 2 hours, 15 minutes. It's 100 degrees. You got all that stuff. I got to keep it light. Skip, I'm going to lose my mind.
So, it's going to come across that I'm trying to kill the messenger, just like I accused you. I'm trying to kill the Michael Irvin messenger. But, look, how much fun was Lane Johnson having before last year? Because twice before, he got suspended for PED use. Once for 4 games and once for 10 games. What does that indicate to you? That indicates desperation. That indicates fighting for survival in the National Football League. That does not indicate having fun.
Wait a minute,
having a blast.
You just killed T.O.
I'm just saying.
No.
I'm putting this in the context of Was he having fun until this past year?
Did he?
Was he?
Yes.
Was he?
Wait a minute.
Was he?
Wait a minute.
You're not answering my question.
No.
Was he having fun? No, he was
Losing
doing
isn't fun.
He was doing what every player in the league is doing. It's desperation. It's doing by any means possible. I'm going to survive.
That's overkill, Skip. Yeah, you killed a man with a sledgehammer.
No, I did not. I'm just stating a fact, and those are two big facts. That contributes to on-the-field performance. So he was so desperate to keep his job, to survive in the National Football League, he twice resorted to PED. Not once. Once, okay.
Oh, well, where is this coming from?
Where's it coming from?
Hold on. Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
Lane Johnson said the Patriots are robotic. And Skip, you go all the way.
Saying I'd rather have fun and win one Super Bowl. I'm asking you again, how much fun was he having? How many years? He got drafted in 2013, so that's like, what, 5 years in there?
Why
you wasn't having any fun?
That's Skip Bayless.
I guess not.
That's Skip Bayless. That's twice you done that. Now, you jumped on LeBron James when he dug up about Charles Barkley.
That was killed him.
You just jumped on T.O. And you just did the same thing to Lane Johnson.
I'm in the context of, were you having fun? Nope, he was not having fun. So what happened last year? The magic carpet ride happened. The planets aligned. It happens every once in a while. You've been through it before, where all of a sudden you go get Alshon and you get Torrey Smith, and all of a sudden everything comes together, and Carson Wentz starts to figure it out, and you get on a roll, and all of a sudden you get Jay Ajayi to go with LeGarrette Blount, and all of a sudden your rushing attack goes to third in the league, and it clicks everywhere, and the defense is clicking, and what happens? You get the break of not the century, of the last 2 centuries. Nick Foles comes in for Carson Wentz and takes over the playoffs. And all of a sudden, you get the ultimate Super Bowl break. Bill Belichick, the wizard, the master, the genius, decides not to play Malcolm Butler for the entire Super Bowl and gives up 41 points to Nick Foles. Those are all the breaks that you got so that you could have fun and win a championship. It takes that.
I just believe you could have provided the context without digging up this man's dirty laundry, Skip Bayless.
You got a grin on your face while you're
because this is beyond me, Skip. I mean, you went way back.
On me.
I
didn't go way back.
You did.
It was just a year ago. He got suspended for 10 games.
What? Skip,
10 games? Was he having a blast? Was it just fun and games? And nope, it was not. Well, he had different coaches, right?
Skip.
Was it fun? Under Chip Kelly?
You ever hung anything on the wall?
Mm-hmm. I don't hang anything on the wall.
You hung.
Well, not well, but.
But I'm just saying, they have like have tack nails. Yeah. They have spike nails. So for a tack nail, you use a tack hammer. Mm-hmm. For a spike nail, you use a sledgehammer. Mm-hmm. You just hung something on the wall with a tack nail using a sledgehammer. Skip, that was unnecessary.
Grandfather said.
That's what he said. Yeah. That was unnecessary. What you did.
Paying attention to what you said about your grandfather.
Lane, I apologize for my co-host. He didn't mean what he said.
He meant exactly what he said.
You broke up that man's past, Skip.
Are we having fun yet? Oh, now you're having fun, and now you're saying the Patriots have no fun. I think the Patriots have lots of fun. They especially have fun when they get to hold that trophy.
I know what you call them having fun on lanes. They ain't got no trophy now.
Huh?
Hold on, let me ask you a question about the Patriots.
Do you really think the Eagles going to repeat as Super Bowl champions? Because I don't.
Let me ask you a question.
I think Lane Johnson's going to be a one-and-done Super Bowl. That's what's going to happen.
When did the Patriot way come into existence? Was it the Patriot way in 2000? What about the first 8 and 9
came into when Tom Brady took over?
When they started winning Super Bowl. Now we got to wait. Yeah, we got to wait now. Yeah. But before then, we ain't have no wait.
Well, they didn't have no way because Bill Belichick was basically a disaster as a head coach.
Yeah, we didn't have no. We wasn't a Patriot way. We just trying to find a way. Come on, Skip. I can't believe. Why would you do that?
I just did it.
He went to Oklahoma.
I told you 15 times why I did it.
You love Oklahoma.
I'm objective when it comes to my teams because I'm going to single out a player who played for the school that I grew up loving, and I don't care. I'm going to be objective.
But you don't love Oklahoma as much as you love Tom Brady. And if anybody come for Tom,
false.
And anybody come for Tom Brady, you shield up for him.
Well, I think what I said was dead on right.
No,
yeah.
You just said that was overkill what T.O. did with Michael dragging up his drug past. Now you drag up this man bringing PEDs into the equation. That was unnecessary, Skip. I believe you could provide context without PED.
Yeah, Terrell loves you. It's okay. He'll probably text you right now. Way to go, Shannon.
We're going to stick to talking about Philadelphia because Carson Wentz said it's, quote, going to be close if he can start week 1 against the Falcons. So the Eagles' alternative is the Super Bowl MVP, Nick Foles. Wentz is not medically cleared for contact and has been restricted to 7-on-7 drills in practice. Everybody is getting involved in the QB debate in Philly, including the mayor, who gave his opinion on who should start to TMZ. Let's hear it.
Who's starting? Is it Wentz or Foles? What do we got?
I would rather Foles. I'm not Doug Peterson, of course, but I think Wentz, the knee injuries are strange. You need to make sure that they're fully recovered before. I know Wentz will be chopped at the bit to start, and that's a good environment to be in. That they will both want to start. But I think just to be safe, Foles probably.
I love how the mayor just, got to get involved there. Okay, Shannon, is this going to be an issue for the Eagles?
It certainly could be. If I'm the Eagles, I'm going to err on the side of caution. If Carson Wentz is not 100% healthy, he's not starting. He's the future. But it could be a problem. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, Carson misses the first month. Skip that 4-0, and Foles has 8 touchdowns, 1 interception. How do you take him out of the lineup? There's a reason why Tom Brady did not want Jimmy Garoppolo to get any snaps. There's a reason why for like 17 years, Peyton Manning took every single snap. There's a reason why Joe Montana didn't want Steve Young to get any mop-up duty, Skip Bayless. Tom Brady understood how he got the job. Carson Wentz is looking like, hold on, I don't really want this guy in there because he did. The last game he played, he won the Super Bowl. He's the Super Bowl MVP. Yeah. He went to Disney. Do I really want that in there? We've seen this happen before, Skip. I tell you what, there's a guy that's in this profession right now, Skip, for that very reason. He got hurt. He started the season on the bench, and guess what? He's in the booth right now. His name is Tony Romo. Ask him, could it be a problem if you start the season injured and a guy comes in and plays well? Could it be a problem? Absolutely. Now, that was Dak Prescott, a rookie. What do you think happens if the Super Bowl MVP plays well? I know Doug Peterson. They traded up. They moved heaven and earth to get Carson Wentz. But it's hard for me to believe, Skip Bayless, the Eagles start out 4-0 and Foles has played well. I don't know how they go back to Carson Wentz in this situation. So it absolutely could be a problem if Foles gets out and plays well. But if I'm Carson Wentz, I'm unmoved by that. I'm worth more healthy than injured because I know this for certain. I'm the long-term fix.
So, allow me to say that this is the first time I can ever remember a mayor speaking about football intelligently, because usually they try and they're making silly bets with the other mayor, and they don't really get it, and they sound foolish when they try to talk about their team.
He got a bunch of clam chowder last year. A bunch of them. He got a big old pot.
Thanks to Malcolm Butler.
Don't do that, Skip.
So I found the comments of one Jim Kinney when I watched him last night, the mayor of Philadelphia. I found them refreshingly intelligent and insightful and savvy and plugged in, because the response that really told it all for me was when the interviewer asked him, well, what do you think of all the talk about trading Nick Foles? He just jumped all over it. He said, oh, you can't trade the Super Bowl MVP. Boom.
Sure you can.
No, you cannot.
Yeah, you can. They traded Brett Favre. They traded a Deion Branch.
Yeah. Jim Kinney knows what's up. He does speak, I think, for a lot of knowledgeable, plugged-in Eagles fans, and there are many of those out there. It's a very savvy Eagles nation, and I take shots at them or have fun with them and trash talk with them occasionally, but I do respect their football knowledge because they love their Eagles, and they get and know their Eagles and how the game is played. And they know, deep down, just what the mayor knows. They know that Nick Foles played some extraordinary playoff football, the likes of which I don't think we've ever seen before. He played back-to-back games that very possibly are the two greatest quarterback games we've ever seen back-to-back in the playoffs.
I'll agree.
NFC Championship game, Super Bowl.
Yep.
What? That's impossible. And he did it. And obviously, to this moment, Carson Wentz has played exactly 0 playoff football. Not one snap
until
taken.
This year.
Well, okay, but all right, we'll see about that. But this has never happened before. We've never seen a situation like this, and I've told you from the start, it's not really a quarterback problem because it's a good problem to have. Anybody would want this problem on their team, but it's a quandary that could be the undoing of the young quarterback you love so much. Because I'm going to say it again, as we get closer and closer to game number one, real game number one, I feel sorrier and sorrier for Carson Wentz because the tape I see on him, I see conflicting stories on a daily basis. Oh, he's 100% healthy. He's really moving. And then the next time I see somebody say, he's a little limpy. He's just a little he's a little tender.
Doug Peterson says still in the back of his mind.
Right.
And
well, how could it not be?
Yeah.
He tore his knee to shreds.
ACL and LCL.
And LCL, or was it MCL?
LCL.
LCL, okay. Well, that's a lot of stuff.
And he threw a touchdown on it.
Yeah.
On one leg, like Tiger won the U.S. Open on one leg. He threw a touchdown on one leg.
So I'm going to remind everybody outside Eagles Nation what all the Eagles fans already know, that in regular season football games, Nick Foles has thrown 61 touchdowns to only 29 interceptions. That's extraordinary.
It's very
You can't
good.
find that. It doesn't
2 to 1 is great.
Doesn't grow on trees. In the postseason, he's now 3-1 as a starter. Not a huge body of work, but he's 3-1 and easily could have won the one against Drew Brees his first year starting for Chip Kelly because he played well enough to win the game, and it took Drew Brees, big kickoff return, late drive, walk-off field goal to beat Nick Foles. So he's very close to being 4-0, and he's 8-1 in the postseason, touchdowns to interceptions.
That's Rodgers-esque.
That's pretty great, man. That's Brady-esque.
Rodgers.
That is. And so everybody knows that for the first time ever, Carson Wentz he's had no threat to his job, certainly his first 2 years of starting, right?
That's normally what happens, Skip. When you get a guy and you find him, you don't bring someone in to challenge him. Did they bring someone in to challenge Dak for his job? Of course not.
It was upside down, just like Tyrod and Baker Mayfield are upside down. Right. They'd already signed Tyrod when they decided, let's take Baker, right?
But they were high up in the draft, Skip. Listen, let's not forget, Nick Foles was a year away. He was thinking about retiring. And Doug Peterson had him in Kansas City. When he got the job to go back to Philly, he's like, bro, come on. You know my offense.
Okay, so was there any threat to Carson's job the first year when he really struggled and went 7-9 and had the 24th worst QBR in the league? No threat. Did he ever think, I'm going to get benched if I don't play better? Nope, not at all. Last year, got off hot, stayed hot.
Well, I think Nick Foles last year was Nick Foles' first year back in Philly, right?
Okay, but there was zero threat because, to your point, then he had bounced around to St. Louis and Kansas City.
If Carson Wentz was healthy, would there be a threat?
If he came back healthy right now?
Yes.
Heck yes, there'd be a threat. The pressure has mounted exponentially now on Carson Wentz because you have to play. These fans, as you know, they're probably the quickest to boo in all of pro football. So you don't think they'll boo Carson Wentz if he gets off wrong? If he throws 3 interceptions?
So what do you think will happen to Nick Foles if he throws 3 interceptions?
Okay, well the same thing would happen, obviously. But now you have a quandary because you have one guy who just owned the playoffs and another guy who's not played a single playoff down, but who owned the regular season last year.
He just needs to get healthy. He can't let Nick Foles winning the Super Bowl. He can't let Nick Foles possibly starting and keeping him on the sidelines. Health is the most important thing.
He has been able to play freely for 2 full seasons until he got hurt last year.
Yeah.
You can't play freely anymore. You know, if you rush back, quote unquote, Mayor says don't rush.
Yeah.
But let's say you do because you're a competitor and you say, I gotta hold on to my job. I can't give Nick Foles this chance. And you push Doug Peterson and the training staff and the medical staff. You just say, hey, I'm okay. I need to go game 1. And you go out there and stink it up. You know and I know what's going to happen.
No,
it's going to rain booze.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz knows. He says deep down, I'm a better quarterback than Nick Foles.
And he think that, but I'm not sure that's the case.
That's very much
I don't believe Carson Wentz could have done what Foles did in the playoffs last year. You want to talk about poise under fire?
He'd probably have about 7 touchdowns against that Patriots.
I'm going to remind you, did you realize what Nick Foles did to the number 1 ranked defense in pro football? Your Minnesota Vikings?
Yes.
Torch.
And what do you think Walker to him would have done? He was number
I don't know.
He was number 1 in QBR.
I've told you, I don't love him. I don't love his pocket.
Do you love?
He gets a little frantic.
Do you love QBR?
Yeah.
Okay, who's number 1 in QBR?
Well, who's had the best QBR of the 2 young quarterbacks over the last 2 years?
I go
Dak
year to
by
year.
far.
I go year to year.
Far.
I go year to year.
Yeah. So Carson Wentz would have finished first if he had finished.
He did finish first.
Well, he didn't finish
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
You got to finish.
No. He had enough attempts to qualify.
And you gave Dak Prescott an F for his performance last year, and he plummeted all the way to 4th in NFL QBR. Plummeted.
The way I evaluate quarterback, Jenny, I don't use passer rating. I don't use QBR. I use wins and losses.
No, you use eye test.
I use wins and losses. Okay, my eye test told me.
I spoke wrong. Use heart test.
No, eye test. Eye test.
You do.
And
I hate Cowboys, so I gotta love Carson Wentz.
I see better
When
than
in
I hear.
your life have you ever loved the Philadelphia Eagles, and all of a sudden you have to because you hate the Cowboys?
Jenny, my grandpa used to tell my brother, "Now I see better than I hear." Now y'all told me y'all gonna take that trash out, but then when I look in the corner, I still see it there. So I know what you told me, but I know what I see.
I see better than I hear.
I
hear you talk about walking to it.
I'm walking
and
to
I
it.
see Nick Foles own the playoffs.
Yeah.
Own them.
That's
Like
only
no one's ever owned them.
That's only because Walking to him was injured at the
Walking
time.
to him's in big trouble.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
No, he's
He's
not.
going to crumble under this pressure. I feel for
You want that to happen?
I
Why
don't
do you?
want
Yeah,
it.
you
It's
do.
going to happen. I'm sorry, it's happening right before your very eyes.
No, it's not.
The mayor summed it up. You can't trade
Oh,
the Super Bowl MVP.
so now the mayor is James Andrews. What the hell, Skip Bayless? And they can trade the MVP. Let me ask you a question. How did Joe Montana get to Kansas City?
Well, he was old. They said you're too old.
And he took isn't he the last Kansas City quarterback to win a playoff game?
It's the way Tom Brady would have gotten to Kansas City when Bill Belichick tried to just send him into the sunset.
And Joe is the last Kansas City quarterback to win a playoff game.
Yeah.
That was in 1993.
Oh,
Old Joe.
yeah.
What about old Brett Favre?
What's your point?
They traded Super Bowl
Is
MVP.
Nick Foles old? He's just entering his prime.
Oh, now he's in his prime.
Well, he's entering it. He's just starting.
Coming off his
Three
prime.
teams in 3 years.
Well,
now you love Nick Foles. Now you want him
How
in
old
Kansas.
is he? Like 28?
Now you stop it, Skip Bayless. Now you want him in Kansas.
Huh? Well, that was Canton-esque. You got to admit.
Yeah. I mean, the Philly specials in Canton. He threw 7 touchdowns one year. That jersey of cleats in Canton. But you need to stop. You know walking to him special.
I don't know.
He's
that.
once in a lifetime.
I never saw special. I still don't see special.
And he's once in a lifetime.
Nick Foles is special.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. We're taking Thursday off, but make sure to keep an eye out for a special edition of the podcast tomorrow morning. Take care.
Bye.